You've seen it. Everyone has. A player gets barely touched. He grabs his face. He collapses. He rolls around like he's been shot.
Whoa, that's gotta hurt.
The referee blows the whistle.
Are you kidding me, ref? He started it!
And 30 seconds later, the same player is sprinting at full speed like nothing happened. And your first reaction is, what is wrong with these people? It's the #1 reason Americans can't take football seriously. And honestly, it's a fair criticism. But here's what nobody tells you. Flopping in football is not what you think it is. Some of it is embarrassing theatre, but some of it is a calculated, psychologically sophisticated strategy that has been built into the game by design. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why it happens, who actually does it, why referees fall for it, and the one rule change that could fix all of it overnight, but probably never will. Stay with me, because the truth about flopping is stranger than the flopping itself. Let's start with the most important thing nobody says out loud. Not all of it is fake. Football is a contact sport played at extraordinary speed. Players are running at 20 miles per hour. They weigh 170 to 200 pounds. They're colliding constantly. And unlike the NFL, they wear no pads, no helmet, no protection at all except a thin pair of shin guards. A tackle that looks minor from the camera angle in the stands can genuinely hurt. A studs-up challenge to the ankle can end a career. A forearm to the face at speed can cause a concussion. So when a player goes down, sometimes it's real. And the problem is, from the outside, real and fake look almost identical. Here's the counterintuitive truth. The reason flopping exists at all is because the rules of football accidentally created the perfect conditions for it. Think about how football is refereed. One referee on a pitch the size of 2 American football fields, watching 22 players simultaneously, with no video replay in real time, no challenge system, no coach throwing a red flag. One human being making every single call, alone. Now think about what a foul actually is. There's no precise definition, no laser measurement, no sensor in the player's boots. A foul is whatever the referee perceives it to be. That means the player's reaction directly influences the call. If you get clipped and jog on, the referee assumes it wasn't serious. If you get clipped and go down screaming, the referee's brain registers pain, which registers contact, which registers foul. It's not cheating the rules. It's exploiting the system the rules created. Think of it like this. In basketball, players lean into defenders on 3-point attempts to draw fouls. Everyone knows it's manipulation, but it's legal, it's strategic, and the best players have mastered it. James Harden built an entire career on it. Football's version of that is going to ground to influence the referee. Same psychology, different sport, same result. Now, here's where it gets more complicated and more interesting. There are actually 3 completely different things that get called flopping, and most people treat them as one thing. The first is simulation. This is pure acting. No contact, no pain. A player feels a defender nearby, throws himself to the ground, and hopes the referee bought it. This is the one everyone hates. And yes, it absolutely happens. It's cheating, full stop. The second is embellishment. This is real contact, but the reaction is exaggerated to make sure the referee sees it. The player does get touched. It does hurt, but the fall is theatrical. The roll is dramatic. The face grab is for the cameras. The third is psychological pain management. This sounds strange, but sports psychologists have documented it. When a player is running at full sprint and gets fouled, the body's adrenaline often masks the immediate pain. Going to ground, stopping, and reacting loudly actually helps the brain register and process the impact. Some players genuinely don't know how hurt they are until they stop moving. Most people lumping all 3 together as faking it is why the conversation never goes anywhere productive. Now let's talk about who actually does it, because this is where it gets genuinely surprising. The players with the worst reputation for flopping are almost always the best players on the pitch. That's not a coincidence. Think about it from the defender's perspective. If Lionel Messi is running at you at full speed and you know you can't beat him fairly, what do? You foul him. Hard, early, often. You make him feel the contact. You make the game physical. You try to take him out of it. Elite players get fouled more than anyone else on the pitch. Significantly more. They are targeted deliberately. And because the rules don't punish repeated tactical fouling harshly enough, defenders do it constantly. So the best players learn to go to ground, because staying on their feet after repeated contact gets them nothing. The referee doesn't call fouls on players who keep running, but the defender still committed the foul, still got the tactical advantage, still slowed the attack down. Going to ground is the only way to make the referee acknowledge what's happening. Is that cynical? Yes. Is it understandable? Completely. Here's the stat that puts this in context. In elite European football, the average player is fouled over 100 times per season. Defenders receive a yellow card for roughly 1 in every 15 fouls they commit. 1 in 15. The system is wildly imbalanced toward the defender. Flopping is the attacker's response to that imbalance. But here's the part that genuinely deserves criticism. The culture around injury time. Football has a rule called stoppage time. Because the clock never stops in football, the referee adds extra minutes at the end of each half to compensate for time lost to injuries, substitutions, and delays. And somewhere along the way, players figured out that staying down longer means more stoppage time, which means more time for their team if they're winning, less time for the opponent to score. So a player who might be genuinely hurt for 10 seconds stays down for 90. The medical staff runs on. Everyone stands around, and 2 minutes get added to the clock. That is cynical. That is tactical time wasting dressed up as injury. And unlike the foul drawing argument, this one is much harder to defend. This is the version of flopping that truly deserves the ridicule it gets. And this is the version that FIFA has started to crack down on in 2026 with stricter enforcement of time-wasting rules and faster yellow cards for players who delay restarts. So why don't referees just punish it more? Here's the brutal reality. A referee who books a player for simulation and gets it wrong, who punishes someone for faking when the contact was real, has potentially changed the outcome of a match unfairly. In a sport where one goal decides everything, that's catastrophic. So referees err on the side of giving the benefit of the doubt. If there's any chance the contact was real, they don't book for simulation. Players know this. Coaches know this. The entire game knows this. VAR has helped. Semi-automated technology can now review whether contact was made, how significant it was, and whether the reaction was proportionate. In the 2022 World Cup, several simulation bookings were confirmed or overturned by VAR review. But VAR can't read pain. It can confirm contact happened. It cannot confirm whether the player genuinely felt it. And that grey area is where flopping lives, and probably always will. Here's what would actually fix it overnight, and why it almost certainly won't happen. A post-match suspension system. Like the NBA's retroactive flagrant foul review, after every game, a panel reviews incidents and can hand out one-match bans for confirmed simulation. No pressure on the referee in the moment, no risk of wrong calls changing live matches, just cold, clinical video review after the fact, with real consequences. The technology exists. The process exists. FIFA has the authority, but clubs don't want it, because their players would get suspended. Agents don't want it. Broadcasters don't want it. Even some fans don't want it. Because football's drama, its chaos, its imperfect human element is part of what makes it beautiful. Fixing flopping completely might make the game fairer, but it would also make it colder, more clinical, more like watching a VAR review than watching football. That tension between fairness and emotion is at the heart of every conversation about this sport. Football isn't perfect. Flopping is real. Some of it is embarrassing. Some of it is theatre. Some of it is strategy. And some of it is genuinely misunderstood. But here's your final thought. The sport that 5 billion people watch is the same sport Americans call broken because of flopping. Those 5 billion people have decided the drama, the tension, the imperfection, all of it is worth it. Maybe flopping isn't a flaw in football. Maybe it's proof that in a sport with almost no stoppages, no timeouts, and one referee making every call, human beings will always find the edge of every rule. That's not a bug, that's the game. Subscribe if you want to know which football rules are actually changing for the 2026 World Cup, and how they're specifically designed to fix the biggest complaints Americans have about the sport. That one's next.